Hello and welcome to Stars in the Dark. This is session 4 in season 4, session 35 total. We're missing Kai again, sadly, but everyone else is here, so that's good. Yeah, I think actually, let me do one thing before we get into everything else, because I want to get it settled. Etema is about to leave, but I think at some point, and I'm not sure how this will fit exactly in the timeline. Could be before you get Maxa, it could be after, but I think you have one last visit with your mom before you leave. So I'd like to play out that scene, if that's okay.
Yes, it's very okay.
Cool. So yeah, let's not get bogged down in exactly when this is happening, but you're visiting with your mom. I should check up on her name because that's kind of the thing to keep track of. Her name is, can't find her. Oh, she's on the friends and family. Yeah. Her name is Kipe. Yeah. So you're visiting. You're in her this tiny little apartment. I think she's cooked a meal for you. And you've had some light discussion. She's talked a bit about her work in the warehouse and that sort of. I think have you told her that you're leaving?
Feel like that was something that Etema had mentioned before.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's a thing that we hadn't seen previously.
Yeah, cool. So I think you've finished the meal. She insists on clearing the table, and then she sits down again. She pours like a hot drink of some kind. It's some traditional ratataki drink, um, and she kind of sits like holding her mug and looking down into it. It gets like quiet, a little bit tense, maybe.
Etema's probably pretty fascinated with this is a Ratataki thing. And so she's watches her mom during the first parts of the awkward silence, thinking, oh, we do a thing where we concentrate. I wonder if I should be thinking about the tea or giving thanks to something. Oh wait, no, this has nothing to do with that. There's something else. And she'll break the silence. Mom? Something wrong?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Do you need something?
I want to ask you something, and you're leaving, right? You told me before.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
We're leaving Coruscant.
I am. I'm not sure where I'll end up because I'm hunting for someone. They're a kid. My lover's kid. I have to save him. Nobody else can.
Yeah. I told you before that I stayed here when your father and your siblings left. He couldn't put up with the the demands the Empire put on us to remain here. But
Yeah.
so he left, but I stayed here, and I don't remember if I told you, but I stayed here because I hoped I'd be able to find you again.
I'm glad we found each other. But if you only stayed because of me, what's keeping you here if I go?
But that's what I wanted to tell you. I mean, I have some people I know here, but they're not family. So I mean, I know what you're doing is going to be dangerous sometimes,
Yeah.
but I I was wondering if I could come with you.
Etema reaches up to wipe at her non-cyber eye. Of course. Of course. Yes, please. I would love to have you with me.
Are you sure?
We have to make sure you stay safe. Because if I bring you out of here and you get hurt, well, that just won't do. So when I say run, you have to run, okay, Mom? Promise me that, and we'll make it happen.
She kind of smiles and yeah, it's been a while since I was in a fight. I'll follow your cues.
Edema springs up from wherever she was seated or leaning against a counter, as she likes to lean against things, and just throws her arms around her mother and probably just breaks down. Like, I was so worried about being all by myself. I finally found some people and I really love them, but I have to do this, and having you with me, it means so much.
I think it takes her like a couple of seconds before she like returns the embrace, but then she hugs you like really tight, and yeah, I don't want us to be separated ever again.
Me either. Thank you for asking.
Just let me know when you're leaving, and I'll be there.
Okay. I won't leave without you. I promise.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Nice.
So yeah, I figure since you're stopping on 1314 to pick up Tiri, so I think Kipe will be there with her. They'll get on the ship and you'll sail on up.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Cool. That was one of the things I wanted to put in there. So now let's cut back to the mechanics, our favorite part, because I don't think we didn't finish the job Fallout last time after the Maxa job. I don't think you took payment either, right? Roar she's offered you 6 creds to do the job. And I remember I had a brief look, and it looked like you hadn't taken the money, but I wasn't sure. So we have 6 creds. The team vault is empty. You spent all that. So yeah, 6 creds to split up.
Etema want to take her too?
Dude, you guys get all split all of it. She retired with 3 total filled up bars of stash.
Nice.
That is a-okay for me. I'm very happy with that result.
Want to take 2 each and put 2 in the vaults?
Sounds perfect.
Cool.
Oh, I'll note the 2 in the vault. Yeah. So that's the money. Then you get rep. This was not completely quiet, so you do get rep. And I think we established that your opposition here was the ISB, because you had to set up the communications thing, and that was kind of they were the opposition there, and they are tier 4. So that means you get 2, 3 rep. Yeah, you had 1. You were -1, so you'll be at +2 now. Finish the color there. Yeah. I don't think you need to. Actually, maybe you do. Thinking about whether you need to pay off your superiors. I think they're expecting a payoff. In house and Romal are the ones you're working for, right? Since it's been a while since you took over, you've started doing some stuff. So I think they expect a payoff, and that is 4 credits. So I guess that's the 3 in the. Oh, that's the 2 in the stash and 2 more. So how do you want to split that?
1 off each.
Yep, I got it.
Cool.
Cool. So that's that. Then we get to heat and wanted level. Wanted level. This was smooth and quiet, low exposure. I mean, the only thing was a little bit of a ruckus in the bar, and that was. I mean, there was nobody got hurt or anything, so that's a 0. Target, I wouldn't say high profile or well connected. Action did not really happen on hostile turf. You're not at war, and there was no killing, so there's 0 heat.
Nice.
That's a first. But we still have to check for entanglement. So and I think the job mainly took place on 1313. So I think we'll use that wanted level, which is 2. So I need to open the dice roller. So I'm going to roll 2 dice, and we'll see what happens. That's a 3 as the highest. So that's gang trouble or the usual suspects. Usual suspect is friend, vice purveyor, other person. Yeah, I think that's what this is going to be. Yeah, I think Corsac is going to pick up the security guy from Scarboat. The Deveronian, I think it was. There are we have too many NPCs. I can keep scrolling up and down. Yeah, Hogarth's the security guy, because he was kind of peripherally involved in the confrontation there. Someone spots something, they're a bit get a bit suspicious. So you can either pay 1 cred or make a fortune roll to see if he resists questioning. He'll roll 3 dice, I think. He's a pretty tough guy, but I mean he's not going to. He probably doesn't want to go to prison for Scarborough. Like he's not like a made man or anything. He's just a hired thug. Yeah. So, do you want to pay a cred or do you take your chances?
Let's roll with 3 dice. Seems.
I say we take our chances.
Yeah, seems all right there.
Yeah. Let's see then.
Steven, are you good with that?
He gets a 5, which means he takes level 2 harm. But yeah, that's his
Walk
problem.
it off. Yeah.
He'll probably expect a drink or something the next time you're there. Probably a bit more than that. Yeah, that's it. That's the fallout from the job. The smoothest one yet, I think.
Nice.
So we have another thing that I want to get into, and it's a pity Kai isn't here because this would be good with Bria, but I guess this will be Boko actually in prison.
Nice.
So you're getting out pretty soon. You've been in there for, I think you were supposed to be there for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And you've served most of your sentence. You have like a couple of weeks left. So you've settled into a routine. You mostly stick with Bria. She's got the connections that keep you safe reasonably safe in there. What do you think is the time when Boko is the most vulnerable when he's in?
When is he most vulnerable? Probably during like whenever the sort of like general everybody's hanging out in the yard time, because it's a lot more open. There's only like we can like kind of like hang out on the on the bleachers or whatever they got there, but there's still a lot of opportunity, a lot of open space, a lot of people to watch.
Yeah, I think this is like an internal yard. It's like in the middle of because the cube it's just like a Juracrete cube. There are no external windows or anything. It's just isolated from the outside world. But I think like at roughly ground floor level, maybe a couple of levels up, in the middle there's a kind of a yard, and it's a Juracrete surface. There are some spotlights just to keep the thing, because they don't want people hiding in the shadows. It's not, but it's kind of a luxury because it's bright lights. That's not something you get in 1313 usually, unless you're living in a really rich area. So I think there are like there's like a catwalk, like 2 levels up with some armed guards, but it's a pretty spacious yard. There's some weightlifting equipment, that sort of thing, because it's a prison. And most of the gangs kind of like hang out in their own corner, that sort of thing. But this is when people tend to throw down if that sort of thing happens. Of course, I think Bria has been called away. You don't know what it is. A couple of guards come and get her. And they're not interested in explaining themselves. They come and grab her. So who are you hanging out with when she's not there?
Ooh, probably if there's any of Skirbo's folks in there, probably try and stick close to them.
Yeah. There's definitely a couple. There's one like weedy human who's he's some kind of fixer or something. You're not really clear on it. And one, let's say that he is a think he's a Trandosha. He's like big beefy guy. He's kind of mellow for a Trandoshan, but you know he can throw down if he needs to. So you're hanging out with them, and usually people leave you alone. Skirbo's reasonably well connected. He's still reasonably friendly with the Hut Cartel, and they have pull in here, so you're kind of under that general umbrella. Not really like in with them, but you know,
adjacent. Yeah.
So you're hanging out in a corner there, and this big Gamorrean walks up to you, and he's got a couple of other guys behind him. One other Gamorrean and a human who looks like he has some mods of some kind. He's a cyborg of some kind. And there's a couple more who are kind of hanging back, not who don't look as big. This Gamorrean, he walks up to you specifically, stands in front of you, and I mean he speaks in this Gamorrean. I'm not going to try to imitate that, but I have a message for you.
Yeah, I imagine Boko is probably sitting on the whatever steps there are. He's looks up at him. It's like, yeah,
and he punches you in the face. So you are in a fight, and he's really on you. What do you do?
Fight back, I think. Yeah, I think just try and give as good as I'm getting.
Cool.
He hit first, so clear.
Sounds like a skirmish.
Yeah. Well, I've got 2 dice in skirmish. I can
Do
go.
you have any abilities?
Let's see. Sharpshooter's go, tough nails, protection.
I haven't checked.
Not really. No. I think I'll push though.
Cool.
Take a little bit of stress.
Yeah, the other two, like his 2 guys, keep the other 2 away. They're
Yeah.
not really going after them, but they're like keeping them busy. So
Cool.
let's see. I think you're definitely in a risky position. I don't think you're full up desperate. Risky, but I think you're going to have limited effect. Like punching a Gamorrean, it's not going to do much.
I think I'll trade position for effect too.
Cool. So you're desperate standard then.
Yeah. And that's 3 dice. That's a 6.
That's a 6. Nice.
And
Yeah.
take on that.
Yeah. What does it look like when because you're not going to take him down,
Yeah.
but you do get a couple of good licks in.
Yeah, I think so. If he's standing above me, just kind of like wails down on me and totally knocks me back a surprise. And immediately, I think he's not the most agile finesse fighter. So I probably like grab his big beefy arm and just use him to lever up and like bring both legs up between his legs. Just give him a good one there and kind of like pull him down on top of me and just kind of like try and probably not like this, but like try and get my arms around his neck as much as possible. Just like hold him as close as possible so he can't get any leverage on me until like someone comes to pull him off, basically.
Yeah, he's on the NPCs tab, and as you can see, he doesn't have much of a neck.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think, he's going to what happens is you will get a chance to resist this thing. You suddenly feel that you get a sharp pain, and he's obviously pulled a shiv or something, and he stabbed you. And he's going to keep stabbing you unless you do something about it. So you're going to take a level 1 harm because it's just he doesn't get like the full effect, but that's just going to happen. What you can resist is him just stabbing you more.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna resist that.
Yeah, cool.
That's probably with prowess, I'm guessing.
Prowess seems fine, and you have the extra die from the crew ability.
Resisting the shiv. The crit.
Oh, nice. You get stress back.
Get me back stress. All right.
Yeah. So how do you do that? How do you get away from him?
Yeah. So I've got him, and he brings his other arm down and kind of gets me in the side gut, and I realize that I've been in prison for a little bit. I've seen the inside of prisons for a while, and I know that like if I let him pull it out, that's probably going to be my guts all over the place. And again, like I've got his one arm and just like try to use the whatever little momentum there is from him to kind of like twist out, so like keeping the shiv in my side and kind of like rolling over on top of it, so I'm on top of his arm, and he's still got the shiv in me, but he can't pull it out. And it hurts a lot. But I know that like basically I can't beat him up, so I know that I have to just try to make this last as long as possible until guards come or the guys get him off me.
I'm going to make a fortune roll for your 2 companions. Actually, I'll make separate rolls for them. I'll roll 1 die for the little weedy guy. He's not much of a threat. The other Gamorrean is going for him. and he gets 2. He's just the Gamorrean just like punches him, throws him away out of there. He's not relevant anymore. The other guy, he gets 3 dice. The Trandoshan, he's big and tough. He gets a 4. So him and the cyborg, they're kind of locked. They're like trading punches, and the Trandoshan leaps on this modded human, drags him down on the ground, and they're rolling around and punching, and the Trandoshan is probably trying to bite the face off this human. He's like I said, he's pretty mellow, but now he's riled up. He doesn't like it. But Grugtart, I think that was his name. Yeah, Grugtart. He's still on top of you. You're on top of so his arm is under you. He can't really get the shiv out. But he's got these big tusks, and I mean, your face is right in his face, and he's still got his other hand. So he's going to go after you pretty hard. How do you? And you can hear like the alarms going off, but it's going to be a little bit longer before the guards get there.
I think I'm going to. So I've got like one arm grabbed and the other one pinned, and his face is up against my face, and I think I kind of like lean in, so my mouth is like right up against his ear, and just say, "You can leave now, or you can find yourself mounted on Skirbo's office once he finds out what happens." No, I think that's command. That's 1 die.
Yeah.
I'm going to push myself again for a second one.
Yeah, I think you're in a desperate position now, because you're. I mean, you just need to survive, but you're not. He's got the shiv in you.
Yeah.
He's on top of you. So yeah.
All right. Let's see. Idle threats. Cool. Let's 2 dice there. Anything? Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Ooh, that's a 4.
That's a 4. You do it with a consequence. Severe harm. Yeah, it's going to be severe harm.
Yeah.
You can resist that. I think at this point, like he's going to try to wrench you away and like tear the shiv out and just cut you as badly as possible when he does it.
Yeah.
And that would be level 3 harm. I think you can resist this, but I don't think you can push it down further than level 2, because this is going to hurt no matter what.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and resist that.
Yeah.
That's going to be 5 again. Yeah, I think the resisting is just like holding onto him as much as possible.
Yeah.
And that's a 5, so 1 stress.
Yeah. 1 stress and the level 2 harm.
Level 2 harm.
Yeah, and so you manage to like cling to his arm long enough for the guards to get there. They stun him. They stun like everyone. They're just it's I mean, I think actually let me make a roll to see. I'm not sure if this is going to set everyone off or not. Yeah, there's some like people getting in and like chanting like, yeah, kill him, take him out, and like making bets on the Trandoshan and the cyborg, see who's going to win. But the guards come in, they break it up, and it doesn't turn into like a riot or anything. It's just, I mean, they're prison guards. They're not going to be nice about it, but they break things up, and just as they pull the Trandoshan off you, it's you're right up next to his ear, and he, just before they pull him away, he grabs you close, and he says, "Vruvo is not afraid of Skirbo," and they knock him out and pull him off.
Nice. He will be.
Yeah, so that's it for that scene with Boko. Cool. We're on the hour. I think 5-minute break. Yeah. So I think we're going to do a completely out of character, or something that you as characters don't witness, which is the eagles, the Emerald Eagles attacking the gladiators. I don't think any of you will be present for that. So the gladiators, they're hanging out in an old warehouse a bit east of your main territory. It's like they're on the edge. I think they took this over from the people who were managing this territory before you. The gladiators moved in, and the others didn't manage to push them out. So what we see is some of the emeralds coming up on their swoops. No, actually, no, that's not what we see. We see some of them like skulking about. They get spotted by one of the gladiators. There's a brief firefight. They rush into this warehouse. The eagles rush into the warehouse. There's explosions. There's obviously a firefight going on inside there. Then a group of the gladiators rush out. They run out from a different exit, and that's when the emeralds, the eagles' swoops show up. They just run them down, like blasting them as they run down the street. The gladiators, they are completely massacred. There's like probably a couple of people who survive, but they're out. They do not exist anymore. Yeah, and then I think we're back at the Banthas Leap. So we've moved. Sorry, we've moved forward a week or so, unless Rich is the. I think. Have you done everything you want to do with Etema, or is it like any goodbyes or anything you want to do?
I think we can imagine that the goodbyes that happened in last session played, and we can. Yeah, there were others that ended up on the cutting room floor, but I think we're good. I don't want to draw it out any longer than we have, and I appreciate everything everybody gave us for that.
Cool. So I think this is Tycho, Trizi, and Bade. You're in the Banthas Leap. You've recently heard the news about the gladiators getting hit. So your plan has obviously worked out exactly like it was supposed to. And I think this is like in the late morning, a couple of hours before lunch. It's like the really quiet time. There's not a lot of people going to bars at this time of day. You're not quite in the touristy area. That's up on Gold Street. That's a bit north of where you are. You do get the occasional tourist showing up here, but not today. Today it's nice and quiet. You've also heard from Hror that Becker has the full support of the Free Rebels. He's been in talks with Mola, and they're kind of working things out. So everything seems to be going well on that front as well. You've probably heard about Boko getting stabbed in prison. He's just got one more week to get through before he's out. So he'll probably be fine, but you know, who knows? You'll probably, if you have any plans regarding that, we'll get into it later. But right now, what happens is that someone walks in who really does not fit the clientele here. He is very obviously noble, and you don't get that kind of this kind of customer here. And that's Lam Gilach. He's on the NPCs tab now. And you recognize him as belonging to House Gilash because of his he's wearing the house colors basically. So he's not a subtle guy, and he is I don't think any of you don't know, like he's not the head of the house, so you probably haven't heard of him. Yeah. But he walks in and he looks around, like trying to. It seems like he's looking for whoever's in charge. Who steps up to take care of?
Trizi is probably actually behind the bar working, like helping out.
So I think Bade steps up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think steps up to the bar. And what does Lon order?
He doesn't order anything. He's just he's just looking for someone to talk to, it seems.
Right. So then Bade orders for him something that's very potent, but you know, it's one of those things. It's like a fruity kind of drink or something that would hide its potency a little bit. Orders that from Trizi.
Got it.
And then orders the same thing, but Trizi knows, give me the weak one, right?
Yeah.
And says, so, you know, are you looking for something? I'm here to help.
Yes. I'm here to speak to a representative for the Hidden Daggers is the name, I believe.
Well, you know, you can't just go around and look for those kind of people. I mean, that can get you in real kind of trouble.
I am definitely not looking for trouble. I have merely been advised that this group could assist me with an issue that is currently before my family.
Huh. Well, let me see if I can't talk to a couple of people. Would you like to join us at a booth?
Oh yes, of course. Please. And he picks up the drink and he follows you to
Beardy, these drinks aren't free.
Of course. And he pays. Yeah, he just he pays, and he pays like 3 times what it actually costs. He just tosses some coins on the bar. He doesn't really. Yeah.
And I had him over towards a booth where Tycho is.
Tycho's feet are up on the table of the booth, and he's been leaning back, reading a data pad about various Savik strategies. You notice what was going on there, but I mean, you guys are working the bar. You've got that taken care of. That's fine. So when you bring him over, he slides his boots, sits up a little bit.
So I think I kind of, you know, gesture for Lon to sit down, and then I get in the booth, you know, on the other side of him. And I'm going to nod to Trizi just in case you want to join. So anytime you want to, feel free. So I hear you're looking for some help. Why don't you talk to us about what kind of thing you need, Lon? Oh,
Well,
I'm Bade, and this is Tycho.
Yes, I am.
It's Baron. I go by Baron. Go ahead.
Well, Bade, Baron. I'm representative of House Gilash, as you're probably aware. And you are, am I to take that you are representatives of the, and he looks to Bade and kind of winks like he's being really clever, like the aforementioned group I was asking about.
Well, we don't talk much about that, so I wouldn't want to get anybody in any trouble. We can just talk about what you need.
Of course, of course. Well, it has come to our attention that you have connections with some of the, let's say, representative of the potential new management of Coruscant, and but that you are not entirely averse to assisting members of the current order who are not entirely happy with how things are turning out for them personally, I mean.
So there are connections, and people aren't happy about the way things are turning out. I got you. I don't hear anything about something that needs to get done yet.
Yeah, and it's clear that he is not comfortable talking about things in a straightforward manner. He's used to the like nuances and insinuations and that sort of thing.
The intrigue of courtly politic kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So, but you and it takes a while. It's like you're spending half an hour with this guy before you get to the point properly.
And Bade just basically puts the screws on and doesn't help him out, lets him flounder and feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. Basically, what he tells you in a very roundabout way is that House Gilash, and this is something you do know, they're a very old noble house. They're very entrenched in the bureaucracy. They're not like imperial supporters, but they're part of the bureaucracy, and they view, as he describes it, they view the empire as, oh yeah, it's new boss, same as the old boss, kind of thing. They are the career civil servants, and this is just, yeah, they have some good ideas, they have some bad ideas. We just continue to keep things working. But they can see where things are headed. Like the emperor is dead, the everything's like the empire is falling, and now with all the conflict on the higher levels, with rumors of the rebel alliance starting to take over, or at least kicking the empire out, the imperials starting to lose their grip. They can tell where things are going, and he wants to secure basically safety for the members of their house who have for the past several years been working for the empire, as part of working in the bureaucracy. And it's clear that he's heard about the thing you did for the Imperials who needed out on 1313. It takes you a long time to get into to speak clearly on that, but you figure out that that's what that's one of the things he needs.
What is it that we could do for House Gilash?
Well, we were hoping that with your various connections and clearly demonstrated skills, you would be able to prevent any undue violence or other unpleasant consequences for the members of our house who have barely been doing their jobs as we have done here for thousands of years.
You're looking for bodyguards?
We were hoping more for some sort of agreement with the rebels. He doesn't say that outright. He like talks around it, but he means the rebels. That the members of our house who accept them as the new management will not be harmed or
You want a peaceful transition.
yes, exactly.
I see.
And we have, of course, a great deal of influence in the bureaucracy and could help facilitate a smooth transfer of power.
That does seem like a reasonable offer.
Does. It might be difficult though, because, you know, up until very recently, these people were being persecuted by your house whenever the Imperials were in charge. Now
Oh,
they're
is that
not.
true, Bade? They persecuted the rebels?
Could
Oh,
be.
that's not good.
No, I mean it might be difficult to convince the rebels that that's what needs to happen, is they need to protect everyone. I mean, offering influence doesn't sound very much like that's going to help the rebel cause. Influence is fickle. Lon, what, you know, is that what you have to offer to the hidden daggers?
For the hidden daggers, if they could facilitate this, at least arranging negotiations, then of course monetary compensation would be offered.
I see. Yeah.
So I think we should talk about how much compensation for the hidden daggers and how much compensation for the rebels and how all that works. And again, I want to put the screws to him. I'm like, you know, not only is there bureaucracy, but you'll have to fund the rebels to the point where they feel comfortable in their ability to continue the fight. Like, you know, they need weapons and they need soldiers and they need, you know, and start laying things out.
Yeah.
For us, we need to make sure our reputation is intact, because we're not just going to go to the rebels and say, "Hey, you want to go into bed with your, you know, with the bedfellows of your enemy?" I mean,
yeah. The way he describes it, and that may or may not be entirely truthful, but his house or the members of his house who are influential in the bureaucracy, yes, they have to, like, they've had to go along with what the Imperials have wanted, but they haven't been like they haven't been the ones who have been pushing for like being tough on the rebels or anything like that. They want to keep order, of course, because that's how things function smoothly. But like they have nothing to do with the stormtroopers or anything like that. Like the Imperial Army and the Imperial Navy, that's completely out of their jurisdiction. They've been like he says, for thousands of years, they've been part of the machinery that just keeps Coruscant functioning. No matter who sits on the big chair, someone's got to keep the lights on and keep people fed and that sort of thing. And that's the part they have been focused on. Like I say, whether that's true or not, that's not something you can tell. But
Yeah.
it's clear that he believes this at the very least.
And I think so. Bade's response is that's a good story. That's what I'd tell the rebels if you get to meet them.
Yeah. So and what he wants from you is basically a representative from House Gilash, or like a group, some people from them being put in touch with the rebels. Like basically, you facilitate setting up a meet so that they can negotiate things. What they have to offer is keeping things working, like basically accepting when the time comes, they'll just keep working and keep things, make sure that the rebels get everything they need, help them set up, get things set up, instead of like keeping working but resisting or that sort of thing. Because you know how bureaucracy works. It's like they can a bureaucrat can keep doing his job, and it can be good or it can be bad, but he'll be doing his job. That sort of thing. And he's not putting this forward like a threat. It's just that they can offer a smooth, instead of like a big everything stops, that everything stops working if you remove the governor. Instead, they can just keep things working.
And I think Bade leans forward and says, so, and that's a good deal. I think what might help you endear yourselves to the rebels is if you were to offer to use your bureaucratic abilities to slow down their enemy while they continue the fight. Because we can see that there's an inevitability here about where things are going to come out. But if you hurry it along, they might feel more indebted to you.
Well, that is exactly the sort of thing that we would need to negotiate. And
but that's something that we can put on the table as the go-betweens.
Well, I would hope that we could have a direct, a more direct dialogue with our counterparts, and perhaps not conduct the entire negotiation through intermediaries. It would be very slow and cumbersome. So
Great.
basically, he's offering you a job. That's what this is. I just put it on the jobs.
So what do you guys think? While Anders puts that on the list.
I like it. I like the idea of it. It feels like a thing. I thought we were going to be smuggling people off world for a minute there.
I also like the idea of continuing to give him a hard time about it.
And I like keeping him off kilter a little bit. So do you guys want to do this job next?
We've got Max out of the picture.
Mhm.
We can cross that one off.
And Becker's in charge now.
Yeah.
Of the
And
stuff we've
you've,
got, yeah, I'd say that one is most interesting to me.
So mechanically, I think there's a couple of downtime actions I need to take.
Yeah.
And we can do those sort of during flashback, but like in scene right now, I think I'm like, I lean forward and I tell him, well, since you've been so persuasive, I think that we can help you. Let's go now. And say, you don't want to delay things, so we'll take you there right now. And it was like, you were looking for the hidden daggers? I think you found us. And Bade whistles, and I think our crew, we see the whole crew in the bar, pull out their little vibro knives and stick them in the tables. So he's like surrounded by what's the size of our crew? It's 20?
Yeah.
And, and all of a sudden he's like surrounded by this gang.
And Trizi hops over the bar and
that's
heads over your way.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah, cool. Yeah, let's do some downtime actions. And I think he wasn't really looking to be the representative, but if you're offering to take him there right away, he's not going to say no.
I think I want to keep him off his toes because that's how manipulation happens, right? If they get comfortable, then they can set him up. But if we can, keep him uncomfortable, then we might be able to hold our own. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have a question. What's the relationship between House Nirmal and House Gilesh? Like, is this something that we need to keep away from our sponsor?
I need to check actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are, House Gilash, they kind of look down on House Niramal because it's well known, in at least among the nobles, that House Niramal is into the whole organized crime thing, and that's like not how things are done when you're an old fancy house. But they're not like openly hostile towards each other.
Okay.
They have enemies in common, specifically House Maragon, who are the big Imperial supporters, because they are going after House Niramal, using their contacts with the Imperials to go after House Niramal's criminal operations as a way to weaken them. And there's this whole power struggle within the bureaucracy between the Imperials and the longtime civil servants. So they have enemies in common. Yeah.
Do we want to maybe? What would he know that we are working with Niramal already? Is that kind of a open secret, or is that still?
If you want to try to wheedle that out of him, you could make a roll for it.
Yeah.
I think we try to keep that secret, but we don't know how well they know. Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I was wondering if getting them to back Niramal in whatever political struggle is going on might be an additional
Or
bonus.
we can talk about this whenever we have some alone time, or if we can put a spy in with House Gilash for Niramal and their relationship with the rebels. If we've got an in there, Niramal might be happy with us. Just an option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, if someone wants to figure out, make a roll for it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna since I've kind of gone off duty and sitting down with them now, I think the angle is something along the lines of why are you approaching some random gang about it? I'm sure one of the other houses must have connections with some underworld people like us, and see if I can get him to make that slip. It sounds like
there's even one of the other houses who is rumored to be sympathetic to the rebels, who presumably should have contact.
Can I get a devil's bargain with that?
Sure. You could, if you if you give away your background, like that you used to be, or that your family is part of House Loshoff, then that's definitely a way to like get his confidence a little bit.
Yeah, definitely say like, yeah, I've got family in Lashok, and that's what I hear from them.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll do that. Give me 2 dice. I'll take that. Oh, 3 and a 2.
Wow, great. So let's see. So you don't get it. He just doesn't understand what you're trying to get out of him, or he's at least clever enough to have play his cards close, hold his card close to his vest, or whatever the exact expression is. But I think you're in a controlled position here. So you could try again with a risky position. This would be like pushing him and risking making him angry, or making him suspicious, that sort of thing. Or you could, withdraw and try a different approach. That would be something different than just talking to him, I think.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna push him and be like, no, seriously, like, you must know something about us, or else you'd be going to the Huts or Black Sun. Why us? Like, who do you think we're connected with? Like, push a little bit more.
Cool.
I think I'm gonna push myself.
Time.
Awesome.
I think Tycho will say, "You've already showed your hand. You might as well tell us what's going on. Claiming up at this point is only going to cause us to lose trust in you. This trust you've worked so hard to build."
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I think Trizi like gets sort of like louder and more aggressive about it.
So now you're risky, but you're getting the extra die of health from Tycho. So that's 1 stress for Tycho, but 1 more die for.
And I'm gonna push myself to get a little bit. If I can.
I think you can't both push and have a devil's bargain. And I think the devil's bargain is still.
Oh, it's just the same.
Effect,
okay, cool.
Because you're just trying again. I think that's how it's supposed to work.
Okay. Could I push for greater
it seems reasonable that you're still having that extra die.
Can I push for greater effect?
Sorry.
So go ahead.
You can push yourself for effect.
I think I'll do that. Yeah.
Cool.
That's 2 dice.
You got three dice, I think. You get
3 dice.
You still have the. I think you still have the devil's bargain die. I think.
Okay.
That's still.
The first dice were 3s, and the last one is a 6. Okay.
Ah, nice. Yeah, and I think he kind of looks offended at first, but then
I should hope so.
he starts talking to you, and it's you notice that he's talking differently to you than he talks to the others. Like he's addressing you more like a peer than them. And
and I probably dropped a name or 2 here and there.
Yeah. And it's obvious that he's puzzled by your general demeanor and the look and this place, and how do you fit in here. But he notices that he can talk to you noble to noble, and that kind of even if he's obviously a higher rank, and he's talking to you like you're lower rank, but you're still a ranking noble, as opposed to these other people.
I probably still have the unconscious protocol, like secret rich person keywords.
Exactly. So yeah. Well, I'm not supposed to disclose any sensitive information, of course, but our sources among the our counterparts on 1313 have informed us that your group has been has direct communications with the rebels on 1313, and presumably you know through that how to get in touch with their counterparts on this level, and we have also been informed about of your, and he goes into a long discussion about the what did they name them? Code Phoenix, which are these the imperial bureaucrats who are working for the rebellion, where Petra is, which Petra is part of. How you help them get their families out. So it seems like you know what you're doing. You have contacts with the rebels, and your names. And I think it's more that. Well, at this point, it's Bade, I think, who's like the the ranking member or whatever, who is has been mentioned by name as being part of the group. I think that's what you were asking for. Is that or
Yeah.
did you want something more?
Yeah, that's how he came to us instead of like if you knew that we were connected to
yeah,
their
yeah.
model. Yeah.
He does not seem to know. He doesn't seem to know for sure that you're working for one of the other noble houses.
Mhm.
He kind of hints at that you'd be working with what's the name? House Algorad, who are the ones who are friendly with the rebels, are rumored
Right.
to be friendly with the rebels.
Right. So we don't want to tip our hand if we don't want to.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. So, is there anything else you want to get out of that scene?
I'm good.
Yeah. So let's do some downtime activities, and this can be things you've done before. It doesn't have to be like follow chronologically from what you're doing here. It can be things you do in preparation for the job. You can keep him here for a little while if you want to set things up. So we're in a new job, so everyone has to downtime activities. You can send one of your cohorts out to do something if you want to, and depending on how you set this job up, I think this will be this will be a passenger's job, because I mean the goal is to transport him to wherever he's going. So that means you have an extra downtime activity or something. Just one extra downtime activity to prepare for the operation. So, Tycho, do you have anything you want to do?
Gosh, new character. So few dots in anything. There's so many things he could do. He's definitely not going to recover stress. Because I have a move that gives him a better consort or sway if he has a stress. So I'm very happy to have that one stress. It doesn't have any wounds. We don't have that much heat, right? We don't have any heat that we need to burn off.
Any heat. Yeah.
Okay. Then I think I'll train Boringly train. Boring train. Yep. Gonna train. I'm gonna train insight because we have
The expert
we have
thing.
we have training and insight, right? So I should get 2 for
Yep.
1.
Yep.
Cool. I'll do that, and that fills up my insight track. So I will take a dot in something, and I will look at other PCs to see if we have anything where we need help.
Cool.
Right? Yeah.
Trizi, do you have anything lined up?
Yeah, I think I'm also going to do a boring insight train. Probably the fictionally like doing some research on either our new house or folks that we've come in contact with, just like checking out gathering more information just in general. But I think she definitely wants to do a vice thing with obligation. I think that means going to visit her family for like some formal reason.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, then I have a scene kind of set up for that.
Awesome.
Not at least relating to your family. But I think we'll save that for after the next break.
Yeah.
So I can set up some details there. But yeah, you can roll your recovery.
Okay.
So I have to check because I keep forgetting how this works. You take your lowest attribute and you recover stress according to the highest result.
So I've got 2 in everything. So.
Cool. So it's 2 dice.
That's 4. I'll do.
Yeah, down to a manageable 2.
Yeah.
And Bade, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm also going to recover stress. And this is here in the Bantha. And I think I'm going to basically indulge in. I think you said that Tycho was sitting there looking up Sabak strategies, and I think that's because you and I just finished a game of Sabak.
Yeah, and I think you took me to the cleaners.
I gotta keep the new members hungry, right? They've got to stay hungry so that they want to keep on the job. Yeah.
You're rolling 3 dice, right?
Yes. 3 dice. And I got a 1, 2, and a 3.
Ooh, that's rough. Still, 3 is not too bad. Do you have a second action figured out?
So let's see. Indulge. I get 3 stress back. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a second to think.
Oh, I should note that Tycho doesn't have a trauma, right? You have the option of doing the thing we did with Dal, so that you get I don't remember what we settled on. If you take a trauma and a total, I think -2 relations with other factions, you can take a few extra action dots. Let me see. I should write this down somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm interested in thinking that over. That's a good offer.
Yeah, you get total 1 trauma, 1 extra special ability, 2 extra action dots, but you have to reduce status with 1 faction 2 steps or 1 step with 2 factions. Yeah, total -2 relationship.
Mighty
And-
tempting.
Yeah, and let's say that if you do take this, you don't have to indulge your vice this because normally you have to, if you have a trauma, you have to indulge your vice or take a stress. I feel like since this is a decision we're making now, I don't want to put that on you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Since Tycho hasn't, I don't think Tycho has been on a job really.
Right.
So it feels weird to push that part. Cool. So you can think about that. Yeah.
So I
is
figured
there
out a second
anything?
downtime action.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I want to go with Lon. Is that his name?
Yeah.
I'm gonna encourage Lon to bond, and I want to go to a nice place that he can set up. And this is a nice, luxurious, hotel kind of place where we can just kick back. I think actually it might be like a country club or something like that, where we have nice brandy and like a nice smoke and just kick back, and I'm using this from his perspective as a pretense to get access to the bureaucracy. But in reality, I just want a nice, pleasurable time.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna roll my indulge a vice again.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the last advance I took was functioning vice. So whenever I indulge my vice, I can adjust the dice so I'm not at risk, I think, here. So I rolled the 5 and I can adjust the dice up or down by 1 or 2. So I'll just adjust it down so I have no stress.
Nice.
And I think to Lon, I turn around, I'm like, a girl could get used to this. This is the life. I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm glad we're such close friends.
Yeah, I think you're up somewhere on Gold Street. There's a lot of casinos and that sort of thing there, but there are also like these nicer places that cater to the nobility and the really, really wealthy. And I think like he's the one who gets you. You suggest it like basically you make him think that it's his idea to invite you there, because obviously he has access and that sort of thing. If you showed up at the door, they just kick you out. But he can get you in, and yeah, does that work?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Cool. Yeah, so that was Bade's 2 actions. Tycho still has an action. You can send one of your cohorts out, and you have a bonus action for doing this kind of job. And you can obviously gather info as well, because right now I think you don't really know where to take him. The only place you've really had contact with the rebels is the warehouse where you picked up the guns that you transported down, and you met up with what's her name?
We established a line up to the rebels.
That's true. That's true.
Also there, yeah. I don't know if that's still open or not, but
Yeah, I was thinking locally on 1340.
yeah.
But yeah, you've had some contact with a couple of individual agents or operatives or whatever. But yeah. Yeah. Any ideas for actions or for information gathering or other like preparations for setting the job up?
I appreciate you told me I don't have to indulge this time around, because with only one stress, that would be a little scary. I do think I will take you up on the offer, so I will figure out a trauma. I will not indulge a vice. So I think I'm just trying to think of what would be a cool long-term project. Do you have anything that the group needs?
Do we maybe want to beef up the bar a little bit? Like throw some like
That could be
hidden
f-
defenses
I
up,
could see.
or make it like a
Well, I don't
command
know.
center somehow, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Space-filled.
upgrading the bar, like
Yeah.
sprucing up the bar. Although Tycho would probably go less for super defensible things and more about like posh, nice
Yeah,
stuff, but
attracting
still,
more. Yeah.
but could be convinced to, oh yeah, well, if someone blows it up, oh, that's right. So I'd like to start a long-term project of sprucing up the bar. And it can be mostly color, but maybe we can figure out some mechanics as things get closer to finish. Does that sound cool?
Sure. I'll offer you another thing as well.
Mhm.
Since the gladiators have been basically eradicated, the warehouse they took over is you could work on reclaiming that. That was a job previously, but now it's not quite on that. I mean, you don't need to kick them out. You just need to make it clear that it's.
Oh, Tycho, yeah, reclaiming the warehouse, making it something for the hidden daggers, and also probably an area for himself sounds really fun.
So there's actually a section of the turf for a warehouse.
Yeah, that's what
Oh.
you'll get when you finish the project.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, cool. So we can do a project that would give us a turf benefit? Well, sweet. I will 100%. I'm into that. How many ticks?
Ooh, I think 8.
I was thinking 8 or 10. So yeah, that works.
Yeah, 8. I don't want to push it higher than 8 because it that seems a bit punitive, but I don't want to go lower. So 8.
Yeah. And that sounds wonderful. I think I'm going to consort with connections from the underworld. So we see Tycho, aka Baron, moving around, greasing some palms with light bits of credit, sharing a few synthahol drinks, and trying to get the word out. Like, where's the right place to go for people to get moving on the warehouse? We've got bodies.
Mm-hmm.
We're less worried about supplies and more about making sure that we have the right direction and know the right people to be in connection with as we build this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
That's
All
excellent.
right. I will roll with consort then.
And you can, let's see, this is a downtime activity, so you can get an extra die if you have help from a friend or contact.
Ooh, I have defined a singer
Ooh.
as a rival and a hedonist named Sabet, who is my friend. I should probably have a picture. Like, I'm discovering all these things with Tycho that we didn't even. I just clicked a box and then wow. So Sabet is with me. I think Sabet is non-human. I'm leaning towards possibly being another Zabrak if Mark, you don't think that's stepping on your toes.
No, go for it.
All right. So yeah, Sabet, she's a hedonist that's buddies with Tycho. And the two of them will work together to clean up the streets for the warehouse. Clean up the streets. So I get another die for a friend helping?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll find a pick for Sabet. Oh, Sabet was the third die and gave me a 6. Thank you, Sabet.
Nice.
Nice. 3 ticks. If you spend a cred, you can push it to a crit, which would give you 5 ticks.
I don't have a cred. I could pull from the smugglers creds if they have any. We don't appear to have any.
If Trizi will throw in a cred for that.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah.
If Trizi burns it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
that's
think
5 ticks?
getting Trizi on the plan is like, she's like,
Hell yeah.
yeah, more places to hide is good.
5 ticks sounds awesome. Next downtime, our warehouse is ours.
More, we also have
friends.
all hands, which lets our cohorts do a downtime activity, which includes working on a long-term
Ooh.
project. So maybe we could spend on that
Dang.
and get it outright if we do okay.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Is everyone cool with that?
Yeah. Sounds fun.
Cool. They don't get the extra die. They just roll their.
They just roll with tier.
Here.
Yeah, so they're rolling 3 dice.
Cool.
It's your idea. So you're rolling?
I'll do it. Yeah.
Cool.
So Tycho is kind of setting up connections, making sure everyone knows that you have claimed this warehouse, I guess. Is that and like figuring out who to subcontract? Is that the sort of thing you're looking at, or is it something different?
Yeah, I think I'm probably organizing some of the guys and be like, well, while Tycho's greasing some palms, we'll start like hauling all the gladiator shit out and making it nice for people.
Cool.
Let's see, 3 dice. Crit.
Oh wow. That's another 5 ticks. So that's
Boom.
it's done.
Dang. That was
Many,
quick.
many hands.
Yeah.
Yes, the warehouse is checked. Stockpiles give you +1D to acquire assets. Good
Nice.
work, us.
Yeah, there's a lot of old junk in there that you can use. So now you have that.
Awesome.
So that was the cohort. Yeah. Any info gathering, or you also have the extra downtime activity to prepare for this kind of job, since you're doing a transport person, transport passengers. I mean, you kind of have to find the rebels, I guess, but that could be part of the job. But it's also you probably want to do something about that beforehand, I think.
I could try and poke the contact side poke before to establish the link, see if there's anyone more local that they can hook me up with.
Yeah. So which rebels are you looking to contact? Like Theolog, who's the head of the rebels, like here in the local area, or are you looking like for the higher ups who are maybe even off planet, or at least on the higher levels? Or do you want to talk to Tor, or what's the
Tor is
kind
still
of person?
on 1313 mostly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think hitting up the local rebels here. We have -1 status with them, and maybe hooking them up with someone who will help them might also help us get status with that. So that seems like a fair shot.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, you should have. Oh, you're already at +3 with Max's rebels, but I think you should get a +1 with yeah. You're at +3 with Taurus rebels now as well, because he's happy that you've smoothed things over, that they can work with Becker instead of having to fight with Maxa all the time.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think Trizi'd like to do it kind of the same way as last time, sort of put some feelers out on the comm nets and drop an anonymous message here, and I'll pick it up on the computer nets. Make that happen.
Yeah, nice. So gather info, and I mean, you know that Theolog is the boss here, or the leader. You've talked to Fogel Pass, the Biff. He's the one who's closest to Theolog, who you've talked to before, and you've had a couple of run-ins with Shachri. She was the one who was standing guard behind the warehouse, who Boko talked to, and I think you've run into her later, well, at some point. You've also talked to AC Drin, who's not technically a rebel, but she's part of the Alderaan Expatriate Network, who are like, I mean, they're allied with the rebels. And Val has talked to Gigi, another Alderaanian agent. And you know about these people. You know that you know that they exist. You talk to Fogel. He's probably the one you have the easiest time getting in touch with.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, I think I'll go for Fogel.
Yeah. So let's see a roll. I mean, you will be able to get in touch with him. I think this is more a role to see how smoothly that works out.
Yeah, and I think since security is also paramount here,
Yeah,
I think probably go with Tinker just to like go through the technical.
Yeah. You're setting
technical
up.
way there.
You're using secure comms, that sort of thing.
Yeah, digital drop boxes and whatnot.
Yeah. So I think you're in a controlled position, because you know what you're doing. You're not under any real. I mean, you're under some time pressure, but you don't really need to take any risks at this point.
Cool. 3 dice straight up seems okay. Fogel securely.
5. So you can withdraw and try a different approach, or you can do it with a consequence. I think the consequence here would be just a minor complication. I think the rebel aligned house will find out that you're putting out feelers for the rebel.
Yeah, I'll take the complication. I like that.
Yeah, cool. So you get in touch with Fogel Kass, and you explain. I mean, how much do you explain to him, or do you just no? I want to talk to your boss, or what's your approach?
I think it was Trizi talking. Trizi's pretty straightforward, so she'll just lay it all out for him.
Yeah, cool.
It's like this is the guy who came to talk to us. This is what he said. This is what he wants. Can you help us?
Oh, this is very interesting. A very fruitful, potentially fruitful opportunity. I shall bring this to Theolog, and we will be in touch with you shortly.
Fantastic. You know where to get in touch with us. Use this encoded line.
Yeah. So he calls back, and it's like 15 minutes later. He comes back with a meeting place, and I think where they want to set this up. Let me look at the map. I think they want to do this in the Bend, which is the area to the northwest. This is an area that was damaged when the rend happened, that hasn't been repaired a lot. So it's more like 1313 than any other place on 1314. because things don't work the way they're supposed to. It's dark, it's messy, there's a lot of gang activity. So he gives you an address or a location, coordinate, I should say, in like on the border between the bend and the reclamation zone. It's some ways into the bend, but it's near the reclamation zone. So that's where you need to take him.
Cool. I'll relay that information to everyone else.
Yeah.
Sounds easy.
Cool. So I think that's everything set up for the job. You still have the extra downtime activity if you want to. Let's see, what is it they can. You can do something to prepare. You could acquire an asset. You could. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think if you want something. Maybe figure out how you're going to do the transport. That could help you. Are you taking him in the ship, or are you doing this some other way?
How did he get here?
He has a speeder. He has a speeder outside, and Bade, you saw this. He has a speeder with a driver. The driver didn't go into the bar. He was supposed to wait outside. But then he brought you to the country club place, and he had to wait outside there as well. So he's got someone to drive him, but he's not going to drive his speeder into the bed. That's the bad part of town, or the bad part of town. It's like he's not going there on his own. So if you go with the ship, that's going to be that's like high profile.
Yeah.
It's big. People are going to notice. You have your truck that we've established. You have that on that you could use, or you could get some other type of vehicle. Like the truck is mostly open, so that's a bit risky that way. You could get something else. On the other hand, the truck is very low profile. It's like a common transport vehicle.
So I think what I'm going to do. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to sneak in, or do we want to disguise our way in, or what do you guys think? Because I have an idea for something we could pressure Lon to get us.
I'm interested in hearing your idea.
Yeah.
So I could pressure Lon. We could see about pressuring Lon into getting us a Imperial, not an Imperial tank, but like an Imperial transport or something like that. Because he says he has bureaucracy, and if we show up to the rebels with a transport and say this is a gift to you to show our goodwill, it would be beneficial. But
Right.
that would mean we would be super noticeable as we traveled through. So we wouldn't be able to sneak, right?
Mm-hmm.
We might be able to disguise our way in, but yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something he can get you. The quality, the result of the roll will decide exactly what kind of thing you'll be able to get.
Yeah.
But if you want to do that extra, use the extra action for that, you can do that. You'll get 1 die for him helping you. So you have an extra die. I'm not sure what action you want to roll for it. Otherwise,
What do you think, Rich?
oh, sorry. It's acquire asset that's rolling your tier. So it's
There you go.
so your tier is 3, and you get 1 extra die. So you're rolling 4 dice.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
So I'll roll the 4 dice. And I got a 5 and 2 1s. Woo. So
so it's on your tier. So it's a tier 3. I think he can get you like a APC kind of thing. I think it's a crawler. So it's not super fast, but it's heavily armored. It's roomy. You can have like a dozen people in the back, no problem. And it's got like a it's armed. Like you have the pintle mounted web
Mm.
thing.
Who's
on
the
top.
best liar among us? Who would be the best at disguise? And we'll put the. I'm going to step out and I'm going to take the driver's cap and put that on whoever wants to be the driver of this APC thing.
I think that might be you.
Me?
Yeah, I think you've got the best sway and consort combined.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'll just walk out, pick up the driver's hat, put it on, maybe, flip my jacket inside out so it looks more gray, and put that on, and be like, yeah, I can drive you guys. I'll drive you right there. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's enough setup for to get the job started. I'd like to take another quick break. Let's say 5 minutes. So like I mentioned, I have a thing for Trizi, but I'm not sure. We have about half an hour left. We can go over a little bit. I think we can probably get the job done in that time, but maybe not. If there are complications, then it could be that we have to stop in the middle of the job. So I'm not sure. Do we want to start the job and maybe finish it? Or do we jump in and do Trizi's extra scene? I don't know what's best.
So I think let's do Trizi's scene before it gets to be too long, too far away, and then also we can get the engagement roll on the table, so we kind of know where things are going to go.
Yeah,
that's good. So let's do the engagement roll first, so we don't forget about that, because that's the thing that happens. Cool. So your plan is to use this APC crawler to take Lon from the glitz to where you're supposed to meet up with the rebels in the bed. So your approach is transport, I think. That's basically what you're doing. Yeah. Or is it deception because you're pretending? Are you pretending to be Imperials in order to keep people away? Is that more what you're going for?
Go ahead.
You go.
I was going to say, I don't think the main point of this job is to hide out as Imperials. The main point of this job, we just don't want anybody to interfere with us, which is why we want to, look like we belong in some aspects. And then, the main thing here is to introduce Lon to the rebels and to make that good connection.
Yeah. Cool. So you start with 1 die. I don't think this operation is particularly bold or daring. You're driving a guy to a place, and it's not. I mean, there is some. It's not super dangerous or anything like that, but it's not overly complex either, because you're driving a guy to a place. So I think the opposition here is probably, I think that's Black Sun, because they're the ones who have the strongest hold in the band. So they are the ones you need to get past. That's where the opposition is going to come in. For the rest of the trip, it's mostly just not drawing a lot of attention. So I think they are the ones who are mainly your opposition, and I don't think they're. I don't think this is a particular vulnerability you're hitting, but they're not strongest against this approach either. They don't have particular defenses or special preparation. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight? Yeah. Do you have anyone? Like if the dangerous part is the Black Sun part, do you think you have anyone who can help you with that? Or it could be other parts of it as well. I think that's the most dangerous.
Well, Lon has a certain amount of contacts through their house. I don't know that could help ease anything with the Black Sun.
No, they're not. I mean, they are definitely not into the organized crime thing.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't think so. Doesn't seem like you have anyone, but there are no enemies or rivals interfering with the operation either. You're doing this right away, so there's not really been any time for word to get out about what you're doing. Are there any other elements to consider? Do you have any other major advantages or things that you think are drawbacks?
So could we potentially pull in the rest of the gang as an asset here? And what that would be is they trail us. So if anything goes down, the Black Sun hits us, or the Imperials hit us, or anything like that, they can come in as backup. They're not there for the meat, but they would be, within a block or so, so they could help.
Absolutely, but I don't think that's going to keep you out of trouble, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You can absolutely pull them in when things get hot, and that's an excellent flashback thing. Like, yeah, we set it up so that they'll come in and help us.
Perfect.
But I don't think it's going to help you with the engagement.
Okay.
Like, it seems like you just have the one die. Who wants to roll it?
Bade's driving, so let's go for it.
Awesome. I'll roll that one die. 3 is a desperate position.
Yeah, your favorite.
Yeah, XP.
Cool. But that's for next session. So let's do Trizi's scene. You were going home to visit your family.
Yeah, I think I probably had some minor obligation event or something from them.
A wedding?
A little wedding. Yeah, I love that.
So is this in the park or is it somewhere else?
Yeah, it's probably in the park because that's the place where I don't like going all the time.
Yeah. So especially after having visited 1313, it's like you're really struck with a contrast between the extremely cushy and luxurious life in the park and everywhere else.
Yeah, feeling a lot more self-conscious about over there.
Yeah. So who's getting married? Is it like a cousin or is it someone closer?
It's probably not anyone super close. A cousin is probably about the right distance.
Yeah. So you're at this wedding. I think it's after the ceremony itself, and it's like people are mingling a bit before they go into the big party afterwards, or since you're nobles, it's more like a formal dinner, and maybe there's a party as well. Depends. Who's your favorite of your siblings?
I kind of feel like it is what's his name? Doxo. That we're probably the closest.
Okay, okay. The
Yeah.
one who Doxa, who visited you, or
Yeah, he's the only one that would actually come and visit me, I think. So
yeah. Cool. So you're leaving the place where they held the ceremony, and you see Doxo. He's kind of off to the side. He's like in the shade of a tree, and just trees are a thing for you now. It just used to be, yeah, it's just trees, but there aren't trees anywhere else on Coruscant, as far as you know, or that you've seen. And he's there with one of the members, like the higher ups in House Loshock, like one of the humans, one of
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the main house. And you see Doxo, you can just see you're far enough away that you can't hear what they're saying, but you can see that as this person keeps talking, Doxo gets more and more like dejected, and like he's trying to like convince this person that or plead to them, it seems almost, but there's he gets shut down, and then he kind of stands there hanging his head when this other person walks off. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably like trying to ditch before the dinner, but definitely like now I see my brother is got something going on, roll up to him and kind of like, who was that jerk?
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't want anyone to see that.
Well, I saw it. What's up?
Well, they're disappointed, I guess, that I couldn't convince you to come back.
Why does he care?
It's he says it reflects poorly on the house.
Good, they could use a little bit of reflection.
Yeah, but now they're kicking me out as well.
They're kicking you out of the family?
No, not of the family. Just I don't have a job anymore, basically. They're
So
cutting me
great.
off.
You do get, yeah, that's the bad part. Not having a job is great. Getting cut off, that's not great. And I just like lean into him like a little bit too close. Do you want me to have him killed? Like when I see his, yeah, absolutely joking. Like as soon as I see his face like get a little bit serious, I'll like give him a push and be like, come on. I don't do that.
I don't know. You've got all these things going on now. I mean, I heard there was a a war down in the glitz. It's like
Yeah,
people
well,
getting shot in the streets.
people get crazy when there's no trees around. Maybe we should have a little initiative where we go and plant some greenery around, trying to calm the populace, right? Again, like give him a little shove.
It's you're used to that whole thing that you're doing with all the spying and whatever it is you do, but I don't know what to do now. I was supposed to. I had mom and dad had everything planned out.
So mom and dad cut you off.
No, no, was
Oh,
they
so
just
you're not destitute. Like you're just not gonna be able to afford the fancy stuff.
he and he names this guy, and I should get a name for him. His name is uh bad names. His name is Burak. I put it
Rock.
in the chat. Uh, I don't know if you're like all mom and dad, they provide for us, but it's not their money. I mean, you know, we get everything from the house.
So they're gonna cut mom and dad off.
They're going to force mom and dad to cut me off.
Well, if you need a place to stay, we've got an extra space now. Maybe you can make yourself useful.
I live out there.
Yeah. Come and camp out with us for a couple days. See how it is.
I
We just acquired some new property. There's a bunch of guys that need someone to tell them what to do. I bet you'd be great at that.
don't know. I mean, I was hoping I'd be able to work my way back in if I could find something to do here, but
Well, I mean, looks like they need some more waiters. So
yeah, let's see a roll here. If you really want to convince him, let's see something.
yeah. That's probably consort.
Yeah,
Just one
yeah.
die. Duxo, yeah, Duxo. Yeah, let's do one die straight up and see what happens. A 6.
The 6. And he thinks about it a bit, and then he just shrugs. Yeah, I guess I mean if I can't convince you to come back and they're going to cut me off, then I don't really have a choice. I
Yeah, you know,
guess.
if they're going to be embarrassed, let's make them embarrassed.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I don't
Cool,
remember. Was
I'll
he
give him.
younger or older than you? Were you the
He,
youngest?
I think he's older. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
so he feels a little. It's obvious he feels a little weird, like letting his little sister
Mhm.
talk him into this. But on the other hand, he knows, uh, kind of has some idea that you're this. It's clear that he thinks you're some kind of secret agent person, and he doesn't really understand what it is you're doing, but he knows that you're good at it. So he'll come with you. We'll add him to the gang, I guess.
Yeah, so I think I'll say like, look, I have some secret agent work to go do right now, so I can't stick around for the reception. And I'd give him like the name and like the name of someone in the gang and the address of the warehouse, and say like, go there, find yourself a spot, tell them I sent you, and see how it goes.
Yeah. Who do you send him to? Is it
Um, let's see.
Esnada or Pelfor or
So I'll give him yeah, Esnada was fired from our security team. Then we'll get along. They'll get along. Yeah, and Esnada's been around a long time, so she's
yeah,
not gonna take any guff from him.
Cool. Yeah, that's it. Um,
Yeah, and I'll grab some canapes and hit the road.
Cool. Let's do XP. Unless someone has something else they want to do before we get into the end of session stuff. No? Cool. So Smugglers XP, you did not do an operation this session. I don't think you've really contended with challenges above your current station. Do you think you bolstered your crew's reputation or develop a new one? You're currently daring and loyal.
Maybe taking over the warehouse.
Yeah, picking up the warehouse is a thing. Also, I could see Trizi helping her brother out as being loyal.
Sure. I think it's one XP for that. Those I don't think. Why? I mean, it's two things, but it's two kind of minor things. I mean, the warehouse is yeah. Did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? I feel like you did when you were like talking to Lan. Do you think you hit it twice there, or?
I think Bade kind of may have pushed over to twice, like by like not only getting the job, but having him take him out and take advantage of his generosity. Definitely.
Yeah, and I think just the moment of the gang all pulling their daggers out. Yeah. I think that's so that's 3 total, I think, right? Yeah. Cool. So Bade, did you address a challenge with theft or guile?
So I think negotiating with Lan counts as guile.
Yeah. I think that's true.
Yeah.
Did you express your belief, drives, heritage, or background?
I would say I pushed my background in that I was definitely pushing for, give us more, right? I was a greedy little grubber, right? Like trying to pickpocket the rich guy who had come into, come down the street. So
yeah, that's true. You should get one for that. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
I don't think so. I don't think I really engaged with my vice or trauma or struggled with any of them this session.
Yeah. So that's 2 total. I think, right? Yeah. I guess Boko gets XP since he was
right.
was in here. Yeah, you addressed the challenge with violence. I think.
Sure
it was kind of thrust upon you, but
I addressed it.
Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
I mean, the belief that I'm not going to let some punk intimidate me, like while getting the crap beaten out of me, saying like, "You should be scared."
Yeah, I think that kind of counts. Like you didn't let him push you down. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
Not unless reckless goes to that. No.
I think that kind of overlaps with the previous one. So that's 2 XP for Boko.
Oh, and one of those gets me another dot in skirmish, which I will take.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Might need that. So Trizi is next in the order. Did Trizi address a challenge with technical skill or influence?
Yep, both.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Did you express your belief, drives, heritage, or background?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you express that twice? Once talking to Lan and once talking to your brother?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lan, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma, right? soft, but or do you think
obligation,
that-
but I think that would be the same as that's
Oh,
double
yeah,
dipping
yeah,
on the
yeah.
brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
that's,
it's one or the other. Yeah.
yeah. So that's 4.
Yeah. Awesome.
And
Mhm.
finally, Tycho, did you address a challenge with charm or recklessness?
Definitely not recklessness, but charm in the consort, trying to get our warehouse worked up, and also a little bit of
Yeah, yeah,
charm in talking to our Lorm with Bade helping out there.
Yeah. I think you hit that one twice. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
Uh, well, if I'm getting 2 for the charm, the part of the charm was dealing with an underward contact, so I don't want to double dip. So probably not. Probably not.
So let me
Okay.
ask you a question. Where does the, I go by Baron come from?
Oh, it just I think he might be a baronet in
Okay.
Mandalore.
I wasn't sure if that was part of your background and therefore it came into play or
Yeah,
something.
I've got the noble background, so
Mm.
he has the street name of Baron, which he realizes is probably a bad idea, but he just can't not.
I think that kind of counts.
Okay, well, I won't argue that. I definitely need the XP. Looking at a wall of unchecked boxes here, just not used to it.
But I don't think you struggle with issues from your vice of trauma.
Yeah, I didn't
right?
even pick a trauma yet, so no.
Yeah. So that's 3 total for you.
Yeah, that takes me out to a level. Bloop.
Yeah, and remember you get an extra special ability for
Yup.
taking the package.
And I got to pick 2 factions, 2 that hate us, right? -2.
2, either one that gets a -2 with you, or that we drop 2 levels, or 2 different ones that each get a -1.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, let's end the recording and do some stars and wishes.